Hello and welcome to the second event of the 2019 Audi Sports R8 LMS Cup, which returned recently to Zhuhai in China for the first time since 2015. A challenging round which delivered some incredible racing and two new winners for the season. But Sean, it was a busy month.
Blancpain GT World Challenge Asia saw a strong contingent of Audis head across to Buriram in Thailand for their second stop of the season. And that was just a week after Zhuhai. Another great weekend for the Audi teams with a string of podium results. But we'll take a look at that a little later in the program.
First up though, let's go to the opening race from Zhuhai, a round which delivered a real shake-up in the standings.
First time since 2015, we're back at Zhuhai International Circuit in southern China for the second event of the 2019 Audi Sport R8 LMS Cup. It was a closely fought qualifying session and the local man, Alex Au, took pole position from rookies at Zhuhai, Yasser Shahin, Tony Bates and Biran Bhakti. Lights are out, right of screen, Yasser Shahin, left of screen is the pole sitter in the CTVS Races entry. Alex Au used his home track advantage to great effect in qualifying. Tony Bates looks at the inside, that's Andrew Harrianto further back, Bates has gone up the inside. Oh, there's been contact! Contact has put Biran Bhakti off and spun Tony Bates. That's allowed Daniel Bielski and the two Zun Motorsport entries and Vincent Florendo to move forward in this field. Oh, disaster for Tony Bates on his first run outside of Australia. More disaster, that's the pole sitter, Alex Au, off hard into the barriers. All sorts of things going on. The reigning champion, Andrew Harrianto, limping around the circuit. This has really mixed up the order. Now we've got one of the GT4s almost into the back of the Zun Motorsport entry. We're on board with reigning champion Andrew Harrianto off the start. This is a replay, left of screen. Biran Bhakti just tagged as he goes around Yasser Shahin. It's gone all sorts of chaos. Down the inside has gone Tony Bates, and he's got caught up in the melee. Now this, down at turn 4, it's claimed Harrianto and the man who was leading to that part of the circuit. What's happened here? Maybe we can see on board with Yasser Shahin. Oh, it looks like Harrianto's just tagged Alex Au as they've come into the braking point. So that's disaster. The absolute team down there in pit lane, not quite sure what's going on. Let's go on board with Harrianto. Brilliant drive out of turn 3. Oh, and he's just tagged Alex Au as he's looked for a place to go through. It wasn't an opportunity. Alex Au was braking for the left-hander, and Andrew Harrianto in all sorts of drama now. But to recover Alex Au, that requires safety car. Not the start these guys wanted, although not so bad for Yasser Shahin. He leads now. And Daniel Bielski finds himself up to position 2. How about the returning Vincent Florendo up to position 3? And the two Zun Motorsport crew entries, the local boys, are right there in the mix in positions 4 and 5. What a start for them into the Cup. And here he comes from further back. Andrew Harrianto needs to make up ground. Dropped all the way back to rear field. So too, Biran Bhakti. They've got a lot of work to do. They were the 1-2 in the championship last year as they battle with the 777 of Lin Yiming. Here is Vincent Florendo. He's returning to the Cup this weekend, been very impressive. Oh, when I say that, he's just got into a tank slapper as he's come out of turn 7 up the top of the circuit. Now that's allowed Market Chun into position number 3, the first of the Zun entries, and down the inside comes Andrew Harrianto and collects the local driver, puts the number 77 Zun Motorsport crew entry off into the gravel, and he won't recover from that. There's no digging out of that one. Door open and he walks away. Safety car again. Is game over for Andrew Harrianto this time around. Green flag. Yasser Shahin has it all to do. Every time he builds an advantage, it closes back up again, and that allows Daniel Bilski to do what he can. But look who's stormed up to position 3. And the second of the Zun Motorsport crew entries all over the back of Vincent Florendo now. Burrit Birambakti, different colours this weekend. He has his primary car off to Thailand for the week after for the Blancpain event. And how about the battle for GT4 top of screen? Li Lin and Tommy Chan going hard at it in the 2 GT4 entries. They're right in it. And the 777 has taken up where Market Chun had left off. He's taking the fight now to Vincent Florendo. He's closing in on the Filipino driver. Just loses the tail of the car. That's frustrating. Just carried a little bit too much speed in there. And no doubt driver coach Adley Fong will be onto that. Oh, down the inside, and that was for the lead, and he's through. Burrit Birambakti takes the lead away. Now on board with Yasser Shahin. Oh, gets caught by surprise. Contact there from the Thai driver. This is what Burrit Birambakti needs. He had a tough start to the season in Australia, a couple of DNFs. He really didn't want to start his season this way. He's rebuilding. First time here at Zhuhai, he's right on the money. He's taken the position away from Yasser Shahin. He's gone wide. He's gone wide on the exit. That's opened the door up. 2 wheels on the grass. That's all Yasser Shahin needed. That's opened the door again. The Australian comes into the final corner. He's got the advantage, and this will be the first win in the Cup for Australia's Yasser Shahin. Burrit Birambakti crosses the line second, and Daniel Bilski takes 3rd position. So Yasser Shahin takes his maiden victory ahead of Daniel Bilski and Vincent Florendo, who also becomes the first Challenger Trophy winner of the season. Burrit Birambakti penalised for a yellow flag overtaking infringement during the race, ahead of Lin Yiming and Li Lin, who takes top honours in GT4 ahead of Tommy Chan and Sheng Yanwen.
I'm surprised how slippery it was. It really was greasy conditions compared to what I was expecting. It was drier and better this morning, so that was a bit of a surprise, but it was a bit of a dodgem parade out there for a while. But I kept my nose clean and just didn't make a mistake. That was a saving grace, really. But a really exciting race. They made me work for it.
Well, Sean, a tough race again for last year's front-runners, but what a disappointment for local driver Alex Au, who we both thought was a solid bet for the win.
The former AM Cup champion was certainly in the box seat after qualifying, but despite doing everything right off the start, it turned out he was in the right place at the wrong time.
Well, like Alex Au, a number of the region's top drivers have honed their skills on the Zhuhai circuit, which has been a vital part of the development of the sport in Asia. We spoke with one of the icons of the Cup, Ingo Mata, who helped build Absolute Racing from the team's own base at Zhuhai, as well as the Zun Motorsport crew, who have emerged as one of the new great hopes from southern China.
Zhuhai was definitely the starting point and grassroots of Chinese motorsport, I would say. We founded Absolute Racing in 2010 with one Audi R8. We entered in ILMC, which was the predecessor of WEC at that time. So it was the first Audi, I think, in Asia Pacific, and was the first race for us, and we immediately won. 2011 we came back with Audi support, 2 R8s, and we finished 1-2 there, again in ILMC. Cup was founded in Zhuhai, so 2012, I remember it was 16 cars. Zhuhai itself, how it developed from when I first came here in the late 90s. Yeah, there was a little bit improvements, but what they did in the last years was amazing.
An increasing number of Chinese motorsport teams have opted to base themselves here in Zhuhai, including the Zun Motorsport crew, who are new to the Cup this year.
珠海也是比较具有一个历史，还有广东算来说是最专业的一个赛车场，所以我们就选择这里是必然的，对，肯定选择会这里的。
A lot of races have started here. It's been quite interesting joining the Zoom Motorsports crew since the beginning of last year. Brand new team, brand new cars, brand new crew. They're really into the sport. They really spent time. Last week we were here testing in Zhuhai to prepare for this race. All the equipment they've made sure is top notch. All the cars, both are Audi R8 LMS GT3 cars.
我就非常荣幸了，我首先一开始我就选择了奥迪，我也很荣幸的跟奥迪 Sport 合作。 我也希望未来有更好的合作了。
So yeah, it's a lot of just practice like any other sport. Just trying to put all my experience that I've learned before and trying to see what systems I can implement into this team to get it to work more efficiently every time.
为什么选择 Adley？ 是因为他是我们华人来说算是挺顶尖的一个赛车手，所以我觉得选择他是正确的。
Zhuhai has been the birthplace of a number of motorsport careers, Mark, but it now holds a special place in your own heart thanks to China's own Frankie Chung. Let's take a look at your introduction to the circuit during a ride session, which is just one of the many different highlights on offer to fans and guests in an Audi Sport R8 LMS Cup weekend.
Frankie, I don't know if you remember this, but the first time I interviewed you at this very track, I think 10 years ago.
And that was on podium, right?
2009. The lights are green. Oh God, I'm going to regret this. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. There should be some braking. Oh, I've made it through turn one. Fortunately, I've got motorsport legend Frankie Chung, who's simply as good as it gets when it comes to Chinese drivers. Oh, he's just taken me through 3, 4, 5, and I think we're in 7, and that was what I would describe as a hard break. And here we go, back round again. So far it's a 300, 200, wow, these 100 metre, oh, that was swift. Swift. Jesus. Okay, we're on the... Frankie's just given me a little bit of a rumble strip. 200. 200 down to second gear, 70 kilometres an hour in a second, and then back we are. This is the race car that was being raced in the Cup about an hour ago. Oh God. Okay, I've never been happy to see the pit lane. Legend, Frankie. Thank you.
You're sitting in the passenger seat. You have a professional race driver behind the wheel. A bit different than you usually drive in the street, so it's really a mind-blowing experience. We also do have very professional race simulators in the lounge. You can feel response from the steering wheel. Driving this, you actually experience how hard it is to keep that car on the track on high speeds. It's a good experience. We bring our guests to the pits so that they can get very close to the race cars, and we have professional race drivers also to explain technical details about the race cars. Before every race of the Cup, we are opening up the grid when the cars are already lined up on the grid in starting positions to experience the tension just a few minutes before the race. In our lounge, you can always see the cars on track, but you can also have a big screen on the side where we broadcast the race live, enjoy great food, great drinks, and we have the special caricature created, some sort of comic character of yourself, which is actually animated. Racing is the center of the event, but all around there's a lot of things for the fans, spectators. So it's really about getting everybody immersed, to smell the racing and to have a good weekend.
So how was it, Mark? Fun, scary, or a bit of both?
Well, I have to thank Frankie for his unique brand of hospitality. I think you can see, Sean, it was a literal eye-opener, especially when he jumped on the brakes. But it was a fantastic experience and something Audi offers regularly at Cup events in both their race cars and high-performance models.
Well, it was a busy few days for Frankie. He went from mentoring and chauffeuring you at Zhuhai to driving in Thailand just a week later, as he and his Audi teammates contested the second event of the Blancpain season. Let's take a look at the action. 5 Audi Sport Customer Racing Asia teams were entered for the second round of Blancpain GT World Challenge Asia at Chang International Circuit in Buriram, 5 hours east of Bangkok, at a circuit that has been traditionally tough to tame. Audi Sport Asia drivers Martin Rump and Weiron Tan were right in the mix, the two young stars working their way through to an outright podium in round 3 before being eliminated by a rival in round 4 whilst being perfectly positioned to attack for their first win of the year. Again, Audi Sport Asia Team TSRT driver David Chen starred in his role alongside former Macau GP champion Andre Couto, the Chinese driver storming through the field to record an outright podium finish. He and Couto starting from 18th after a tough opening race to record an epic result for the emerging Chinese team. Ultimately, home ground knowledge played dividends with local teams Singer Plan B by Absolute and B Quick, both claiming podium finishes. Biran Bakhti and teammate Kandasak Kasiri claimed third in Pro-Am during round 4. The two popular locals also moving to third in points for the hotly contested category. In Am Cup, Be Quick Racing added to their impressive Sepang form. The two Thailand Super Series regulars strong in round 3 to claim a podium finish, but a storming drive to open the race in round 4 saw team boss Henk Kick's hand Daniel Bilski the car within reach of the podium. He made short work of second place to close in on the class leader, making a late lunge on the final lap to claim their second win of the year. For the Audi Sport Team Absolute pairing Sun Jingzhou and Chen Kongfu, they too showed impressive speed across the event. Cheng again showing why he's still one of Asia's best to at times lead the way for the brand with the 4 rings. But setbacks in race 1 and heavy contact in race 2 put paid to a podium return.
Buriram delivered more top racing just as the second race from Zhuhai had done. Let's take a look at how round 4 of the Cup played out.
Round 4 started with rain. It fell just before the start of the race. That really mixed things up, put all the teams onto wet weather control Pirelli tyres. Ultimately, Alex Au would make it back-to-back pole positions, but by just 4/100ths of a second over Tony Bates, Yasser Shahin, Burt Burimbaki and Daniel Bilski. Keep an eye on the reigning champion though. He starts rear of field as a result of penalties from contact in race 1. But this was the big story. They couldn't get the car going. A technical issue for Alex Au. Frustration after that turn 4 DNF in the opening race. That left Yasser Shahin left of screen. Tony Bates right of screen. You can see the whiteout. The rain was intense. Further back in the pack, very difficult to see. Daniel Bilski down the inside, but nobody was going to do anything silly this time round. Not enough grip. They were pioneers this time round. They hadn't been on the circuit all weekend in heavy rain, so they're very much taking a cautious approach. And that allowed Tony Bates, he'd raced in Australia in the rain quite often, to just get the jump on his rivals. As Burt Burimbaki looked very carefully at the tail end of Yasser Shahin. That is Lin Yiming further back, just coming under fire from Li Lin in the blue and yellow. Anderson Tanoto, reigning championship winning GD4 further back. The 77, Mark Chun, he was very good, very impressive in the opening race, of course coached by former Cup champion Adley Fong, the Zun Motorsport crew. Very, very impressive. There he is, the 2013 Cup champion. And this, well, for the number 66, frustration for Xu Pengfei. He was off down at turn 9 and that brought out the safety car. There are the mentors, Wei Ron Tan and Martin Rump, watching the restart. Tony Bates away again. The rain stopped, but the circuit's still very, very wet. Burt Burimbaki, what can the Thai driver do? Not a lot of experience in the wet, but so far he's been very, very impressive. Mark Chun in position number 3, leading Vincent Florendo, who's getting quicker and quicker in the wet. Oh, and down the inside, down at turn 4, goes Burt Burimbaki, closes the door on Tony Bates, who gets hard on the gas, just loses the tail a little, and that's allowed Florendo to close in. He's getting very racy, but how about the black and gold? We all know who that is. That is the reigning champion. As Tony Bates leaves the door open, down at turn 11, Mark Chun fires up the inside. Up front though, this is allowing Burt Burimbaki to get away. He can see what's going on in a little bit of that mist behind him. Batesy in position 2. Oh, he seems to have gone in too deep. He has. He's opened the door for Mark Chun and trying to make it 3 wide. Here's Andrew Harrianto. Not in these conditions. Oh, Batesy's off. He's come off the circuit. Oh, very, very deep. And that is really frustrating. That's down to turn 12. He's just gone in too wide and run off the circuit. Let's take a look at the replay. Slow-mo. Oh, you can feel every bump just as he gets to the end and then he gets a little bit of air. Superman Bates. This is not the way you want to start this race. Just couldn't hang on to it. Adley Fong losing some fingernails. Probably glad he's not out there in this madness. The wet conditions certainly make things interesting. We're green flag again. Man at the front of the field, Burt Burimbaki. Behind him, Mark Chun charging hard. He's got the lap car now, Tony Bates on the inside. He's got Andrew Harrianto trying to make it 3 wide, go down the inside. I think he's playing the cautious card after a tough round 3. Oh, and Mark Chun's got it wrong. He's gone in too deep, got onto the grass, manages to keep it straight, and that opens the door. Vincent Florendo now up to position 3. Mark Chun taking a wide line, but probably more grip on the outside of the circuit. Wouldn't be too concerned about that one. Daniel Bilski and Yasser Shahin, 1-2 in round 3, falling back a little bit. Li Lin, very, very impressive on his debut in Anderson Tanoto's GT4 car. So too Tommy Chan in the hard memory entry. Uh-oh, there's drama. Just locked the back end. Oh, will he keep it off the barriers? Yes! He won't keep it out of the gravel. Lin Yiming, unfortunately for him, brings out the safety car again as it's recovered. Laps are down to the final lap. One final run to the flag. Burt Birambakti leads from Andrew Harrianto. Vincent Florendo back on the podium, position number 3. Further behind him is Yasser Shahin, not quite as far forward as he would like to be, but he's the championship points leader as things stand. Daniel Bilski still doing very strongly. Oh, up the inside, what does Harrianto have? No, yes, he pulls alongside. Down to turn 11, doesn't have the drive out of the corner. He's got one more shot as they head towards the kink at turn 13. What can Andrew Harrianto do? Is he close enough in these conditions to make it stick? Under brakes, oh wow, he's gone in super deep. Under brakes, Andrew Harrianto, one last try, couldn't quite do it. And what a result for Burt Birambakti. Across the line P1, Andrew Harrianto P2. At the top of screen, Lee Lin's just opened the door for Tommy Chan and drops back to second in GT4.
It's very difficult to predict because I never often drive in the rain. So I try my best and stay calm and try a little by little to make it happen.
And make it happen he did. Burt Birambakti, first win of the year, full points on the board. That brings him back into championship contention. So Burt Birambakti takes the win from Andrew Harrianto, a great recovery by the reigning champion, Vincent Florendo, Yasser Shahin and Daniel Bilski. Marka Chun takes position 6 for the Zun Motorsport crew, the locally based team, ahead of Tommy Chan, who took the victory in GT4 over Lee Lin. And in his return to the Cup, Vincent Florendo takes top honours in the new Challenge Trophy from Marka Chun and Lin Yiming. And in the championship points, Yasser Shahin jumps to the top on 70 from Daniel Bilski, Tony Bates and Jeff Emery. In the GT4 Championship standings, Mark Williamson shares the lead with Lee Lin, whilst reigning champion Anderson Tanoto is equal on points with Tommy Chan. Well, it was a tough weekend for some of the pre-season favourites, with Zhuhai really mixing things up. That's thrown the season wide open now, especially as we go to Shanghai, Suzuka and Sepang.
Well, that's it for this time, but make sure you join us for rounds 5 and 6 of the Cup from Shanghai in China, and a hectic schedule of Blancpain rounds back-to-back in Japan, as we also head towards the 2019 Spa 24-hour race, an event which will see 4 of last year's Cup stars tackle one of the biggest challenges on the planet. We'll see you soon.